Story 1. Today it is a 3, but yesterday it was a 9. I do not know how my allergies work, but they sure have a good time messing with me. Story 2. I have a baby. The scale broke about a month ago. We are in uncharted tiredness waters, boys. Anything could happen. Story 3. I'm exhausted today. It's 100 degrees outside, and I worked from 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Now I am home with iced tea watching The Sopranos. Story 4. Like a 7 or 8. It's barely going on 2 p.m., and I want to crawl into bed to nap. I think I may be getting sick, which would explain why I am so tired and have a massive headache. Story 5. On a scale of 1 to 10, my ferritin iron level is a 3, so I am extremely tired until I can get an infusion. Story 6. When I woke up at about 8, after some coffee at about 6. It is my fault though. Revenge sleep procrastination is a real thing. Story 7. 7 because I am recovering from a massive rotator cuff repair and have a sling for 3 months. It really is affecting my sleep. Story 8. I am almost always at a 10. I have hypothyroidism and have to get up at 2 o'clock every day for work. The combination keeps me in a constant state of severe fatigue. Story 9. We went to Yosemite for a week, hiked everywhere, and got married. Then we traveled to Germany, Switzerland, and Italy for 3 weeks and walked everywhere. We averaged about 37,000 steps a day during that month. I am slowly adjusting back to Central Time and recovering from all the walking and hiking. Story 10. Physically, probably a 5 or 6. Mentally, 11. Many problems keep piling up much faster than I can handle. Story 11. I'm close to an 8 because I just arrived on an international flight, and luckily my son ordered pizza for me when I arrived home. God bless that boy. Story 12. I have a corneal abrasion. My eye hurts badly. Light causes pain. I have an appointment with an ophthalmologist on Thursday. I have been working, attending school, and taking care of my children. Story 13. Constantly at a 7 no matter how much sleep I get. 10 hours last night. After work, I am a 9. Never get lower than 7. Story 14. I work in a warehouse with no air conditioning, have a car with no air conditioning, and my house currently does not have air conditioning. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, yes. Story 15. I feel like life can be funny, and we all can have an upside-down day for no reason at all. I hope all is well. Have a good day, everyone. Story 16. Probably about a 6 or 7. I am constantly exhausted, but I have to be awake. I am on my second cup of coffee and wake-up medication. I like to call it my allergy to life. It basically takes me a day or 2 to recover from any activity. Story 17, like a 4. I'm always somewhat tired because I don't sleep well. I slept about 6 hours last night uninterrupted though. So for me, that's pretty good. My period has drained me a little, but it's manageable. Story 18. So many subreddits today are full of false dichotomies. I have already received hatred for the way I speak online. Many people, especially on this platform, dislike autistic communication. It feels like there is nothing I can do because their oxytocin conditioning makes them value performance over information. I keep meeting people who would rather you lie to them than tell the truth. And to me that is exhausting. I am tired. Tired of others making false assumptions about who I am. Tired of people using their experiences to avoid nuance about different topics. Tired of people prioritizing their unchecked subconscious beliefs over recognizing that tools can be used in both good and bad ways. Very tired of dealing with people who do not engage in good faith, people who insult you for a short-lived serotonin and dopamine boost, and very tired of people who do not value attunement within themselves or others because protective parts block them from seeing the connection that has always existed right in front of them. I should not have to change the way I speak and act to be loved. I am done with masking. Story 19. Beyond tired, so tired that I feel sick. The situation at work involved a colleague who was not capable of doing the job. It went on for far too long until they were removed. I regularly work many more hours than my job role requires without any extra pay or time off in lieu. I am training 6 people from another team and a new starter with no experience. I have not taken any annual leave for a year. I am absolutely on my knees. Story 20, 8 out of 10. I worked until 12:30 a.m., then could not sleep until 1:30 a.m. My child came into my bed at 5 a.m. and woke me. Now it is 7 a.m., and I have to get ready to do it all again. Story 21. 7 worked night shift as an emergency medical technician and then am back at my 9 to 5 desk job after getting off shift. As they say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Story 22. I had to get up at 4:30 a.m. to chase a barking muntjac deer out of my garden after I left the gate open last night. My wife bought a lot of new plants yesterday, and the animal would have eaten them all. I also did it naked. Story 23. I had 5 hours of sleep, unpleasant meetings, a call to the doctor, pharmacy, nursery, and my toddler whining. It has been a difficult week, and I am cranky. I am tired, for goodness sake. Story 24. I have been tired for a year now and do not know how to fix it. I cannot seem to sleep properly. I think it is anxiety. I cannot turn off my thoughts. I also have a deviated septum, which makes it hard to breathe while sleeping. I have tried all of the nasal expander devices, but they do not really help. I do not know what to do. Story 25. I am tired, stressed, and overstimulated. I just want a cold iced coffee and to sit in silence or have a week-long nap. But alas, I am a stay-at-home mother to a toddler, so I try to put everyone else's needs above mine until I am absolutely exhausted and cannot function anymore. It is a cycle, really, but what can you do? Story 26. 7. We have movers coming in a few days to pack, and my brain thought 2 a.m. was a fantastic time to think about everything I haven't done yet. Story 27. Like an 8, because I did not sleep very well the last few nights, and I am on my menstrual period. But school is out really soon, so I can finally sleep in. Story 28. It has been a rough couple of years, and I do not have a good handle on my own self-care to manage my health effectively. Story 29. Both my dogs are gravely ill with different conditions, and it has been non-stop since Friday. They are littermates and over 10 years old, but I cannot bear to lose them at the same time. I am also spending a lot of money on their care right now. I am very tired. Story 30. 8ish. I had my master's thesis defense today, so I did not sleep well last night. Later, I had to catch a flight to Oslo, as I am volunteering at Tons of Rock. I had 2 energy drinks before noon, so they wore off quite a while ago. Story 31. How tired am I? I'll paste the note I typed out to Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer to decide if I should bother telling my therapist what's going on. Also, I know it's not great to use Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, but it says I should be concerned and need to tell you what's going on. I feel like I don't exist anymore. I feel like the being that used to be has slowly eroded away, and even using I doesn't feel right. Not in a schizophrenic or paranoid sense. I don't believe that I physically don't exist anymore. It's more like I feel like I don't know who I am. I see myself and I see a stranger. I don't feel much anymore, and when I do, it's super strong. It's not normal bipolar episodes that I'm used to. Even when I feel, it's still like I lack that sense of self. It feels like underneath the display I show the world, there's nothing there, like I'm pretending and it's all a farce, a house of cards. It's ready to fall apart at any time. There's just nothing left of what was me. There's nothing left of who I thought I was a few years ago, and I'm trying to think of individual things that are different to reason with myself, but still the feeling is the same. It's like the factory is on and operating. I eat as much as I need, so I'm not hungry. It's manufacturing. I either don't feel at all or feel a lot, and not the normal bipolar episodes. There is emotion at times. Anger, frustration, hatred, disgust, irritation, sadness, hopelessness, sorrow, disappointment, shame, sometimes excitement, but that's about it. The factory is manufacturing, but there's no purpose, no design, no goal. It's manufacturing whatever happens to pop out. This body is just on and functioning, but there is no longer any self. Even then, when I'm excited, it's generally about something I'm hyper-focused on, and that thing gives me energy to push through the other stuff for a bit. But even when I'm excited, Nothing really makes me happy. I sit in front of the TV telling myself to put on something I'll enjoy. I scroll through horror movies that I would have loved to watch. I scroll past things that I've been dying to watch. I tell myself to think of something exciting and interesting I wanted to do, something I was looking forward to, but there's nothing there. That's why I say I don't exist anymore. He doesn't exist anymore? Is that more appropriate? But saying him implies the existence of me, so it still doesn't work. But whatever. I have no interest in meeting friends. I've been forcing myself to meet up recently. Even doom-scrolling TikTok and brain-numbing content have lost all effectiveness. I've given up on people a while ago. I don't care for them much anymore. There are no feelings towards anyone I know. There are a few people that I know I am supposed to care for, that I know I should care for, that I know I used to care for, and that I know I would care for. But that's about it. I'm otherwise constantly disgusted by people, by humanity, and by most of society as a whole. The majority of people are ignorant, blind, hypocrites, soft, consumed by greed and the desire for excess. They're happy as long as their house isn't on fire. People have lost touch with what it means to be human, which is rich coming from someone who doesn't exist. They've been so brainwashed and groomed into believing that our purpose is to mold ourselves to become the cog that fits best into the machine. That success is to become part of the machine and to start controlling part of the machine. People's feelings, human life, just being happy, all of that feels like a secondary priority. Like it's something you do when you get the chance. The fact that people are so willing to accept and defend that just to cope with their existence and choices angers me, which again is rich coming from me under current circumstances. Maybe that's part of the problem. As angry as I am at people for not being willing to do what needs to be done to change things, I'm guilty of the same sins in a way. I haven't done what needs to be done either because I was scared of the consequences, the fallout, and the uncertainty. I was scared of how it might affect others. Either way, I'm just done with most people. Not that everyone is bad. I know there are still pure souls out there, and my heart would break for them. Maybe it still does, I don't know. Even when I eat, I don't enjoy anything. All food has lost its appeal. There might be one particular thing that I enjoy and want from time to time, but it's always the same thing for weeks at a time until it isn't. I don't enjoy eating. I don't enjoy food. Eating is difficult and tiresome nowadays. It feels like an effort, and it brings no pleasure. There's just nothing left of the person that was here. Just a body operating until it falls apart. Story 32. Just finished a trip. I am halfway through a 33-hour day due to time zones. Flying isn't too bad, but when it's a 10-hour flight, a 4-hour layover, and 6 more hours, everything starts to hurt. About to get on the 6-hour flight. Story 33. Today is a solid 7, yesterday was a 6, and the day before was 9. I try to push my anxiety and depression down by doing some things around the house if it is not a very crippling day. Story 34. Reliving every bad, embarrassing, or awkward interaction I have ever had. All night. Story 35. Probably a steady 8 all the time. I never feel well rested no matter what I do, and all this caffeine is giving me jitters and anxiety. Story 36. Physically, about a 6. I recently improved my diet and am moving more, so that number is slowly going back down. Mentally and emotionally, I am at a 9 or 10. I have spent the last 11 years working with teenagers with behavioral issues. For the past 4 years, I have been working with teenagers who have behavioral issues and autism spectrum disorder. I genuinely love the work I do with these kids, but the environment is intense. I am really burned out, and no self-care I have done recently has stopped me from feeling burned out all the time. Story 37. I stayed up until 3 a.m., and my alarm went off at 8 a.m. I work until 10 p.m. Caffeine does not do anything except give me chest pain, so I am running on spite. Story 38. Like a 7? I have borderline insomnia and sleep 4 to 5 hours a night for 2 or 3 weeks, then usually crash and sleep for 12 hours at a weekend. Story 39. Extremely so at 10. I actually think something is wrong with me because I wake up at 10 a.m., stay awake for a bit, then take a nap for a couple of hours, get up, take another nap after a while, and repeat. These naps are quality sleep, I am not just lightly sleeping, I am out cold. Story 40. I was up since 3:30 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. I wanted to be close to my partner and kept waiting for him to roll over so I could start something. However, he kept flipping onto his stomach and then facing away with his hips twisted. I spent about 3 hours peeking over every time I heard him move, hoping to find an opening, but it never happened. Then his phone vibrated loudly at 4:45 a.m. because his friend, in a different time zone, forgot about the time difference. It happened again at 5:30 a.m., so no sleep for me. I told him when it was wake-up time and we both laughed. I finally got my chance to sneak in an intimate moment before he had to get up and prepare his kids' lunches. Story 41. I never get tired. It's a state of mind. The body can wear down, but my mind remains razor-focused. If I am sleep-deprived, my attention may dip. But do you think that will stop me? I need to sleep, of course, but the tired mindset? That's your own pessimism when you pretend you're trapped in a rat race or whatever difficult situation you're in and wallow about. You can change that. You just might not know how to. No dishonest sarcasm or mocking what you don't understand will help. It makes things worse. People who do that are blind and ignorant. Coping doesn't work. It keeps people stuck in a loop. The first thing I did to get my life together was to stop mocking everything. It worked. I did other things too, but that was an important one. Keep the humor honest. It's a matter of honesty over a cheap laugh. Never the reverse. Once lying becomes comfortable, you start living a lie. Then you wear down and wonder why. Well, you know why. Story 42:15. But that is because I am on my last 12-hour shift, 7 in a row, in this crazy heat and humidity. Story 43. 9.9. I just woke up from a nap in the waiting room of my doctor's office, and they are still running 1.5 hours behind. Story 44. I don't know if it is the heat or not, but the last 3 days I have not been tired, just literally so fatigued that I cannot function. It is odd. I have insomnia, so I never sleep, but recently I fell asleep at work. I am just physically exhausted, and I am not doing anything strenuous. I have to assume it is the heat. Story 45. I had a few good weeks in April where I was at a level 3. I spent 2 months at a level 10 because of migraines. It might be that I am pre-diabetic and I was eating poorly. I cut sugar out and added some exercise. I have been slowly getting better. Those few weeks at a level 3 remind me that it can be better. Story 46. I have been having issues sleeping at night due to my herniated disc, even with prescribed medication. I did not fall asleep until 5 this morning. Story 47. 10 no air conditioning and the temperature has been in the mid to upper 90s, not accounting for the heat index, for the last 5 days. I have not slept for more than 20 minutes at a time. Story 48. Around a 9. It has been like that for years. It is a combination of being an adult and working 60-hour-plus weeks with no consistent days off and being on call during my days off. I am so tired I could sleep for weeks, but I won't because I could be called in at 5 a.m., so I have to make sure I am up and ready by 4. Even when I took a 2-week vacation, I got no sleep and woke up at 4 every morning because, and I quote, "Be prepared, your vacation can be canceled at any moment by management. Failure to answer the call is equal to quitting." Story 49. Funny I should come across this post. I have to work a 12-hour shift in 6 hours but cannot sleep. I am going to rest by shutting my eyes and just relaxing, but I will be absolutely exhausted in the morning. Story 50. 8.5 hours, 56 meters. Went to work as a supervisory control and data acquisition engineer. It was okay. Then I swam 120 lengths, 3,000 meters in 1 hour and 6 minutes. After that, I rode 5 miles on my mountain bike, standing on the pedals the entire time. My wife is a trail runner, and I am her support vehicle, carrying water, coat, and other essentials. Story 51. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. but did not fall asleep until after 11 p.m. due to anxiety, which caused nausea. It was my first day at my new job, so I have been learning new things for 8 hours today, and my feet are very sore. I am currently on the hour-long transit ride home and only got a seat on the bus 30 minutes into the ride. I want to go home and go straight to bed, just to do it all over again tomorrow. Story 52. 6, probably. I've been on a road trip, and today we started the nowhere section of the United States of America. It will be a lot of flat landscapes with not much for gas stations or food until after Texas. Story 53. Definitely 10. I have no job and thought of just using artificial intelligence to make some money, and guess what? It is a total flop, and I am just so tired of how I thought I could use it. Story 54. I am so tired. I have a heart disease that makes me weak and tired, and today I have errands to do, so I am just tired. Story 55. There are 4 ninth grade classes here, and only my class did not have a day off. I hate it, especially on the longest day. All my friends are in another class, it is very hot, and I did not eat anything. Story 56. Welding in this heat is very difficult, and I am tired of people fighting each other over trivial matters. Story 57. It is 7:15 p.m. and the temperature is only just now going down to 95 degrees. I have had middays in summer in past years when it did not get that hot, and it was still triple digits an hour ago. I walked to work and was red-faced and sweating just 10 feet out the door. I received a call as I was walking up to the building saying they were closing due to health concerns. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am about a 100. Story 58. I am at about a 7. I could use a nap, but bedtime is only 3 hours away. Working in 99-degree heat for the last 2 days has exhausted me. Story 59. It is disgustingly hot outside, and I am grieving the loss of my father, so I am just all around exhausted. Story 60. I work at a sandwich shop and everyone is coming in this last week due to the heat wave. It has been the busiest we have seen in a while, and it is starting to wear me down. On the bright side, my performance this past week has earned me a raise and put me on track for a shift lead promotion. So it is not all bad. Story 61. My 1-year-old daughter is teething and is not sleeping well, which means we are not sleeping well either. Story 62. Probably a solid 6 to 7. Up at 4 a.m., at work by 5, pretty normal, but I had to change an exhaust fan motor on the roof in over 90 degrees heat and direct sun. Those 3 hours really took it out of me. Story 63. 10, a teenager, 2 preteens, and a newborn plus the cost of living and the state of the world. I am a constant 10, but when my sleep disorder returns, it will be a constant 20. I actually feel great in comparison to the sleepiness caused by my sleep disorder. Story 64. 8 out of 10. Decided to mow my backyard lawn at lunchtime. It only takes about 15 minutes if I am not bagging the clippings. It was 104 degrees Fahrenheit, though. Not my wisest moment. I have been a bit tired ever since. Story 65. I have a 7-month-old. The only reason I am not at 10 is that I had a work trip last week and got a full night's sleep. So I have that going for me, which is nice. Story 66. This semester has been intense. I am very relaxed today because I have rested, and I have completed some work. However, in the last 5 months, 5 has been the minimum level of my tiredness. Story 67. Worrying about my autistic son's future every day for the past 4 years is beyond exhausting. It has become the only thing I care about and is beginning to affect my physical health. I am starting therapy. Story 68. 6, not debilitating, but I will sleep well tonight. I struggle with waking up and getting out of bed, so I am trying to force myself to get up much earlier than I am used to. It is going well. Story 69. Babysat grandchildren for 3 days, then went to a 3-day yoga retreat. The food was awful, the bed was hard, and the downward dog routines were repetitive. Spent time sitting inside and relaxing. Story 70. 10, it is too hot. I am due for a cesarean section in 12 days, and I am exhausted from being kicked every minute. I cannot sleep because I have to urinate every hour. I just need her to be here already, as I am way too tired of being pregnant. Story 71. I am good. Woke up at 5:40, worked, went to the gym, had to leave second shift early, and am sitting at a veterinarian's office, but I am good. Okay. 5 now. Story 72. I am in the final week of a summer stock with teenagers in my scene shop. I am at my wit's end. Story 73. Not that tired, which is frustrating because I would love to be asleep right now. I should be exhausted, but here I am. Story 74. 9:30. Got up at 4 a.m. Monday. Went to bed at 10 p.m. Wife's water broke, and she went into labor at 11:30 p.m. Haven't slept since, 21 hours later. Mom and baby are doing great though. Story 75. I took an important test yesterday that I am pretty sure I failed. I wanted to cry but have not been able to because I am very exhausted. I only got 3 hours of sleep. I hope tomorrow is better. Story 76. Ran on 5.5 hours of sleep, biked to work and back, and have felt good all day. On Ozempic for weight loss, my energy, sleep quality, and general feeling of well-being have greatly improved since I have lost over 60 pounds this year so far. Still have about 70 pounds to go, but it is all good. Story 77. I am at a fork in the road. It is going to be really amazing or I am going to drown in the dark. Either way, I am alive. I am breathing. I choose to fight, to grind it out until I reach my potential and not be overcome by darkness. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.